Merry holidays! It is that time of year, the time of me uploading. Oi oi, how's it going? A lot has changed since my last video. I've had the most engagement on my channel ever since I started it, which is great. We'll get into that later. And also, you are planted in a different spot, and you also look a little better. I don't know, I think the film's still pretty grainy because I don't have a fucking light, but whatever. And you're probably wondering, wow, I've changed, haven't I? You definitely, yeah, definitely wondering that. That's because I've been on a couple-month binge watching Lil Bow Wow featuring Snoop Dogg. Bow Wow, that's my name, Snop Doog. And that's my new favorite song, so I've just kind of fallen into this cycle of more so of addiction. Anyway, moving on. Prince of Persia, the beloved game series that no one tends to give a fuck about anymore, but secretly we all really care about and want to come back. But before we get into why I think the Prince of Persia series needs to come back, I want to address the engagement on my channel. More specifically, the haters, because I've gotten those now. More specifically, I want to address my first hater, my original, my OG, Vincent Salamatino. He is my new nemesis, just because he disagrees with me. And he had to make multiple comments on my video because one was not enough. So this is for Vincent. I'm directly talking to Vincent. This is for Vincent's eyes only. If you're not Vincent, fuck off. Hey Vincent, you left 3 comments on my latest video on the MCU saying how much I was wrong. In my personal opinion, those 3 comments were kind of unnecessary. I think you could have just stuck to the one and just made it a little longer, especially when your comments bring nothing of value. But Vincent, you don't understand. You and me, I just want us to be friends, okay? But you're coming off really hostile, and I don't like that. You know, with typing profanity and not to mention typing in an aggressive tone. That really hurts my feelings. However, I'm here to dissect your comments and politely tell you to kick rocks. Let's start with your first comment. What the fuck are you even talking about, bro? You're trying to compare a classic trilogy from 20 years ago to today. Like, seriously? First off, everybody knows the first trilogy is a classic. Second off, I love the overabundance of material to watch now. Bring them all to the big screen. Jesus fuck. Alright, let's take baby steps here. First off, yes, I am comparing a classic trilogy from 20 years ago to today's movies. It's called a comparison. I'm not sure if that's a new concept to you or just a new concept in general. I don't believe it is, but I could be wrong. And this concept isn't even that new since I am using the source material of Spider-Man. Hey! A popular character that was invented yoinks ago. Like, it's not an out-of-pocket comparison. That statement alone of you're comparing a classic trilogy from 20 years ago to today doesn't really hold much weight in your favor. It just makes your argument look weak because the Raimi trilogy came out 20 years ago and then the MCU shit is like a couple years old. And with you saying that statement, it kind of sounds like you have no faith in the newer trilogy because, you know, the one from 20 years ago is better. Like, my job was to convey cases on how Spider-Man from 20 years ago was better than the Spider-Man of like 2 years ago. And you kind of helped me out with that comment. Next, he provides reasons on why my opinion is stupid. So let's dissect the first branching argument. First off, everybody knows that the first trilogy is a classic. Yeah, no shit, I never said that. I never said Raimi's trilogy wasn't a classic because if anything, over time, they have grown into be some of the best superhero films of all time. For better or worse, even the third one is recognized as one of the best superhero films of all time, whether it's because it's so bad it's good, or people actually enjoyed it. And if anything, I acknowledge that in my video, so I don't really see your counter argument there. Second off, I love the overabundance of material to watch now. Bring them all to the big screen. Okay. I'm not sure if you know how to conduct a counter argument, but Yeah, this isn't it, Chief. When you say things like first off and second off, you're kind of presenting counter arguments to show that I'm wrong. But here you just said you like the oversaturation of MCU films. So I'm not really wrong for not liking them. Like, the fuck? Alright, I think we got the most baffling comment out of the way first, so let's move on to his second comment. You can not like Professor Hulk, that's fine. I prefer Berserker Hulk myself, but Professor Hulk does not like the... I'm sorry, huh? But Professor Hulk does not like bad. The VFX for him are top notch and done so well it made She-Hulk look so much worse. Okay, in this case, I'm willing to give this comment a dub because I think it was just sloppy pacing on my part. However, what will not be getting a dub is your fucking grammar and sentence structure. I tried to read that like 8 different fucking times and you only saw me mess up once. But you're still wrong. Although I understand how you interpreted me bashing Hulk's CGI, but I actually didn't. I was more bashing what the character has become and what the MCU has done to Hulk, which makes it awful, not necessarily the CGI. Like, I had a problem with Hulk being a huge, uncontrollable monster to a comedic bit. That's what I had a problem with. But because I was talking shit about the CGI literally beforehand and then I quickly transitioned into Hulk, I understand why you would think that I was bashing the CGI. The CGI is okay, it's not great, but it's definitely not terrible. Of Hulk, that is. Not just in general. MCU, I will not give you that. Your CGI is still shit. It's just that Hulk's okay. At best. Lastly, we have the nail in my metaphorical coffin. The third comment. I care about Scott Lang, and Quantumania is gonna be amazing. I literally have no clue on how to respond to this comment. Vincent, I hope Quantumania is awesome for you, for your sake, even if it turns out to be absolute dog shit. I hope that you enjoy it, just you, no one else, just you. Because that's really what matters here. Vincent's happiness. I feel like I should end by saying this is just my opinion, but that's besides the point. What matters most is that I enjoyed all of the engagement to come from that video, whether it be whether you disagree or you agree 100%. It was just great to see people's opinions in the comments. And this is my big break. There are a lot of people that agree and a lot of people that disagree. And I enjoy reading both sides, as long as you're civil, like Darla here. Good on you, Darla. And hopefully I can keep making content with that level of engagement. What was I talking about again? Hey, remember when this remake was the talk of the town? No? Yeah, me neither. With the recent announcement of Assassin's Creed whatever the fuck, I thought to myself, wow, this reminds me of Prince of Persia. And then I remember that I made a video about a month or 2 ago where I said Assassin's Creed needs to take a break and Ubisoft need to revive the Prince of Persia series. And Ubisoft actually did that without actually doing that. Is it just me, or does this Assassin's Creed game give off mad Prince of Persia vibes? Hashtag not my prince. So now I have to dedicate a whole video to Ubisoft so they can actually get the message. Because apparently my other video didn't get the point across. And I know you watched it, Ubisoft. Don't lie. Because Assassin's Creed of Persia came out a few weeks after my video. So you definitely watched it. I'm onto you, Ubisoft. I'm onto you. I've already gone over this once before, but just in case you didn't watch my other video, which you totally should, by the way, I feel like Assassin's Creed has gotten really stale and bland with stories that take way too long to get into and some of the most uninteresting protagonists in recent times. However, the prince has always been a charismatic and intriguing character, whether he's the happy-go-lucky puzzle solver in The Sands of Time or the edgy Raw XD type prince in Warrior Within. The prince's adventures has always been interesting, with not only compelling characters and great story, but also beautiful set pieces, and challenging but not overbearing puzzles. Although a remaster would be nice to reel fans back into the franchise, but a new game wouldn't be that bad either. The Sands of Time remaster would be a nice way to introduce a new audience that may have missed out on the original. But a new entry can still introduce new fans and bring back that old fan base if done correctly. So probably a light reboot would be the best outcome. Like I said on my other video, Prince of Persia still has an audience. It's just that Ubisoft are afraid to go outside their comfort zone and are unsure if putting all their time and effort into a new Prince of Persia game is the best move. Spoiler alert, it is. Although Assassin's Creed still moves a lot of units, the amount of units moved are in the gradual decline. I can pick up Assassin's Creed Valhalla for like $15 at my local game store, whereas Assassin's Creed Odyssey is around like $25 to $30, showing that there are less and less demands for the latest AC games. Wait, now that I think about it, every Ubisoft franchise has gotten less popular as time goes on. AC Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Far Cry 6. It's almost like bringing a new franchise into the fold might be a smart and profitable business decision. I feel like developing a Prince of Persia game nowadays shouldn't be that difficult. Ubisoft have the assets that they've used for Assassin's Creed games, and they look so stunning. So why not incorporate that game's engine and the basic fundamentals of that game into a Prince of Persia game? Update the outdated combat of Prince of Persia with AC's combat mechanics, and same goes for the movement and traversal mechanics, but keep the puzzle solving aspects and interesting story of the original. Bringing back the original story writers and core members of the team that made Prince of Persia would be a must. Or else it's just another Assassin's Creed game with a Prince of Persia skin on it. And for holy Christ, that is not what we're looking for. I don't know why, but I just wouldn't trust any new story writers to take on this gig, because I feel like Ubisoft are in desperate need of a franchise that needs to get over. The best way to kind of exemplify this would be talking about Max Payne in contrast to Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3 was an incredible game with some of the best gameplay mechanics of the franchise, with an interesting story, great voice cast, impressive visuals, and amazing soundtrack. But the problem I had with the game was the writing. More specifically, how they portrayed Max. In the original game, Max was a very cheesy but unique character that was shown through the amateur line delivery, whereas Max Payne in the third entry was more of a corny action hero who was ready to drop the F-bomb at any given moment. There were some lines that were written really well in the game, but they were followed up by Max saying an unnecessary cuss after, which kind of just killed the tone. And I know, very hypocritical of a guy that swears all the time on YouTube to have a bitch about a game character swearing too much. Fair point. But I believe that you don't have to use constant vulgar language to keep fans of a faithful franchise in their seat. If anything, it gets them out of their seats even faster. What are we even talking about again? Right. Prince of Persia, but you get my point. New writers dictate the tone of the game, and for newcomers to take over might just do more harm than good. Another thing Ubisoft shouldn't do is change the design of the prince. It's shown to never work. Dante, Peter Parker, Bomberman, Spyro. Why the fuck does Knuckles have weirdly long legs? Like fuck me, even the prince had a redesign that fans were not a fan of. Twice. So to solve this problem, all you have to do is keep the original design. I know, crazy concept, right? Another thing I'd like to see, or hear, is a compelling soundtrack. Music plays a big part in gaming and is more important than people might think. I believe Prince of Persia is a game that needs a thrilling yet subtle soundtrack that fits perfectly into the world. Personally, I'd bring on Bear McCreary to handle the soundtrack of the Prince of Persia game. You may know his work from the God of War reboot, which I think has a similar feel to Prince of Persia from an audio perspective. McCreary has also done the soundtrack to 2019's Child's Play and the main theme to the Walking Dead television series. And to top everything off, I just want to say, bring back Yuri Lowenthal. For the love of God, please let Yuri Lowenthal voice the prince. His performance can tie everything together. He's coming off a new high after voicing Peter Parker in the Marvel Spider-Man, and he was the original voice actor for the Prince of Persia reboot. As much as I do think Robin Atkin Downes is an underrated voice actor, he voiced the prince in The Warrior Within, I do think having Yuri is an absolute no-brainer. But yeah, I think those are some elements that would kind of tie in a perfect Prince of Persia game if it was to come back. I hope you enjoyed this video. Merry Christmas, happy holidays and all that nonsense. Stay safe out there. And yeah, hopefully I can make more content like this in the future, probably a little more reliable, fingers crossed next year. That's my New Year's resolution, boys. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. Later.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need.
I don't care about the present underneath Christmas tree.
I just want you for my world, more than you could ever know.
Make my wish come